Hello and welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Taylor Crouch.
I'm Jack Bordelot.
So how are you doing, Jack? What'd you do last weekend?
Last weekend, one thing, I'm enjoying this amazing weather. It's 70s and sunny out.
Oh
Feels
my
like summer. I love it. It's great. And then this weekend, I wrapped up Rock Chalk Review. My group did not win, sadly. Shout out to Sig Nu and Theta. They won. You guys did a great job. My group, however, did get an award for Best Male Lead. Shout out my boy Jack Polsky. He killed it. That was great.
Did you know that National Margarita Day actually started the same day Rock Chalk Review did?
Unfortunately, I do. I was not able to go out and celebrate because I was done at like 11 at night and I just wanted to get to bed. Sadly. How about you?
I had a lot of fun times this past weekend. I went to Topgolf with a couple of my friends. There was this Angry Bird game we played. I don't know if you've played that before.
Topgolf? No.
It's kind of interesting. You have to like knock down the towers like you are an Angry Bird, but you have to aim for the targets at the exact same time on the field.
Like with the golf ball?
Yeah, it was complicated. But afterwards, we went to this place called Casey Craft Ramen. Oh my God, that ramen was to die for.
It's bussin'.
Oh my God, it was so good. And it was actually made by Japanese chefs.
What?
Yeah, and they're having an event next week on the 28th through, I think, March 3rd. They're having Japanese chefs from Shishimaru, Nagoya, Japan, come down and recreate their famous dishes here at there. So
It's gonna be good.
I know, I'm really excited to try that.
How do you compare that place to Ramen Bowls in Mass Street?
I have to say it's a lot better.
Yeah.
The wait list to get in is pretty long, but it compares, I don't know, Ramen Bowls just does not compare to Casey Craft Ramen.
Yeah, it's made by a real Japanese chef.
Yeah, it's, oh my gosh, it's so good. And they have like Japanese snacks that you can buy right before you go sit down to eat your food too. I think I spent over $60 just grabbing snacks.
I don't blame you.
Do you have anything else planned for the day?
After this, no, not really. I'm just gonna get out there and enjoy that weather.
Yeah, the weather is really nice and I'm looking forward to enjoying it later tonight. Are you ready for the career fair that's coming up?
Yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah. Are you excited for the job opportunities that you might get? Interested in meeting anyone?
I'm excited to take a new photo for my cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, for my resume. I heard they're gonna have a photographer there.
Oh, I need to get a new cover. I've been using the same old photo that I've used when I was in photography for the past 3 years. I need a new one desperately.
Yeah, I used my graduation photo senior year.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for right now. Anything that you want to add?
Nothing else.
All right. Well, that's it for right now. We'll be back after the break with an interview with our special guest.
Welcome back. My name is Gabe. I'm here with Steve Rottinghaus, our Career and Outreach Coordinator here at the J School. It's good to have you, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Gabe.
Yeah. We've got a career fair coming up.
Yes,
I wanted to ask you some questions about that.
it is Career Fair Week. It's kind of like Christmas for me. So, 3 days from today, Thursday, February 29th from 10 to 3, we'll have 25 companies overtake Stauffer Flint Hall talking about jobs, internships, and basically what kind of careers our journalism students can expect once they graduate.
Cool. How many, you said 25
We have 25.
coming? Okay.
So pretty much anything you can think of connected to the journalism curriculum will be represented. We'll have TV stations, local news, media outlets, digital marketing, PR firms, ad agencies. We even have one construction company, Guardian Construction Company. You might think, why are they going to be at the career fair? Well, they're looking for that great storyteller, whether that's through social media, through website content. I hope journalism students find time. It's 10 to 3, but don't feel like you have to be there all 5 hours. If you can devote like one solid hour, connect with 5 or 6 companies, I think it's worth your time.
What can students expect to bring, to wear, attire? resumes, stuff like that?
Yeah, great question. I always say treat it like you would an actual interview. Business casual at the very least. This isn't the event where you want to wear your sweatpants, the hooded sweatshirts, the yoga pants. Treat it like you would an actual interview. Bring about 10 to 12 resumes. You're probably not going to have time to connect with all 25 companies, but you might surprise yourself and get up to 10 to 12. I also encourage students to take advantage of our resume breakout room. So on the third floor, we'll have professionals reviewing resumes throughout the day. That's going to be from 10 to 2, and then we'll also have a professional photographer on site. I know that's always popular. If you need a new headshot for your LinkedIn profile, your website, portfolio, we can make that happen. It moves pretty quickly. You just write your name, email, he'll take a photo, and then I'll get it to you probably within 2 weeks. So yeah, there should be something for everybody at the career fair.
That's good, yeah. Any specific companies that are coming that you want to shout out?
Again, it's pretty focused on KC, a lot of KC TV stations, Wichita, Topeka, and a lot of them come back all the time. They love connecting with our students. I also find it helpful for even underclassmen, even if you're not looking for a job or internship. I think it's worth your time just to find out what can I expect once I graduate, what kind of jobs are out there. And some students leave like, oh, that gives me a lot more focus. I didn't really think about that as a career pursuit. And speaking of TV stations, don't feel like they're here just to hire like for the news anchors or reporters on camera, because there's a lot of behind the scenes work too, like with producers, promotion, social media content, strategy. So just because you see a TV station, don't think there's nothing that won't apply to you if you're more on the digital marketing side.
So here at the Stouffer Flint
It's
Hall?
at Stouffer Flint.
Okay.
One thing I do want to mention, the Clarkson Gallery down the hall, we'll kind of treat that as kind of an employer lounge, employer lounge, and also a student lounge. So if you have a backpack, a heavy coat, that's a good place to leave. I think the weather's supposed to be nice, maybe not as nice today, I think mid-50s. But if you have a jacket, the lounge is a perfect place to leave that. We'll have J-School ambassadors there to make sure everything's secure.
Cool. Any food or drinks that are going to be here? You know, like
Probably not for students. We do have a hospitality room for our employers, but students, we might have some water for them.
Gotcha. Don't go in there. All right, Steve, anything else you want to add?
No, again, it's this Thursday from 10 to 3. I hope students take advantage of it.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for coming. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back with news and sports. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Walking alone in a college town can be dangerous, no matter the time of day. Lawrence might seem like a small town, but there is still tons of crime that happens. You never know where and or when people are planning to attack, so it is better to be safe than sorry. Being by yourself is never the answer. That's why people should always walk within a buddy system. Having at least 3 people to walk with can help with getting home safer. Going out in a bigger group is definitely the way to go, so everyone can be assured they are safe. If walking home isn't an option, calling KU Safe Ride is the next best option, or ordering an Uber with your friends. Stay safe and always keep a buddy with you.
Welcome back. We have our news, but we cannot see the teleprompter at the moment. If you just give us a few seconds, we will get it all figured out. How's your day going?
It's going great, you
Good.
know, until this little...
Hey, you know,
But
it
you know, it
happens to the best of
happens.
us. Go for it.
Well, good evening. My name is Milena.
And my name is Charlotte, and this is your Good Evening KU News Update. Today, there's a Supreme Court hearing on the topic of social media that could change the First Amendment online. The main focus of the hearing is about censorship on websites and social media platforms. This decision will have major economic as well as political effects. According to the New York Times, the court's verdict is expected between now and June.
The CIA has been secretly helping Ukraine fight Putin for more than a decade to provide information for targeted missile strikes, track Russian troop movements, and to help support spy networks. This has transformed Ukraine, whose agencies were compromised by Russia, into one of Washington's most important partners against Kremlin today.
Sweden has been approved as a member of NATO after 19 months of Hungary's parliament pushing back on their proposal. 188 voted in support of Sweden's entrance, with only 6 opposing. Sweden's entrance into NATO is in efforts to continue isolating Russia in their attacks against Ukraine.
More details are emerging about the suspect in the death of a nursing student at the University of Georgia. A 22-year-old man is charged with kidnapping and murdering and will remain in jail after he was denied bond at a hearing on Saturday.
KU's own Pi Beta Phi raised $14,000 in support of the Read, Lead, Achieve organization by selling cookies last week. They held their Pi Fizuki event last Wednesday and exceeded their fundraising goals.
Though Douglas County appears to be experiencing a hepatitis A outbreak, the wastewaters say otherwise. The wastewater detection indicates that there is a transmission in the community. Lawrence's drinking water is clean and safe, according to the Lawrence Douglas County Public City Health officials.
That's all we have for news, and we'll take it over to sports.
Thanks, Charlotte. Last Tuesday, KU baseball defeated Texas A&M
University 13-7 in their first double-digit scoring game of the season. Collier Cranford, Cody Shojinaga, Lenny Ashby, and Jake English all hit home runs to contribute to the 13-run victory. This past weekend, the team competed in the Carbach Round Rock Classic, falling to both Washington State and Kentucky, but being victorious over Texas State. Next up, the team will face Texas Southern University at home in Hoagland Ballpark.
KU softball competed in the Texas A&M Invitational this weekend and dominated their first game, defeating UTSA 12-0. This win gave head coach Jennifer McFalls her 100th career win as a Jayhawk, as the team went on to defeat both Texas A&M and North Dakota State, finishing the weekend 5-0.
KU track and field traveled to Lubbock this weekend to compete in the indoor Big 12 championship. The men's team finished 4th overall, while the women's team finished 6th overall. Michael Joseph broke his own school record from last year, running 45.46 in the 400 meter and claiming a Big 12 title. Mason Minertagen cleared 4.45 meters in the women's pole vault and claimed the runner-up title.
This past Saturday, the Kansas men's basketball team took on Texas at home. The Jayhawks defeated the Longhorns 86-67, with all 5 starters scoring double digits. Top performances by KJ Adams, who contributed 16 points, and Hunter Dickinson, leading the Jayhawks with 20, pushed KU past the Longhorns. Kansas dominated the paint, outscoring Texas 52-34, resulting in a 62% shooting performance for the Jayhawks.
Well, we played great. First half we were terrific, and everybody played and contributed, and bench was good, and our starters were all great, and we don't have, without Kevin, we don't, obviously our margin of error is even less, but, when the ball moves like that and you guard like that to start a game, that's, you're going to be in a pretty favorable position.
KU will continue their final stretch of the regular season with another home game against BYU tomorrow. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m.
Yesterday, the Kansas women's basketball team also secured a win at home against Kansas State in the second Sunflower Showdown matchup. This win was crucial for KU as they are hoping for an NCAA tournament bid. The game came down to the wire, but the Jayhawks were able to stay ahead of the Wildcats and won 58-55. For super senior Holly Kurzgeter, this win was the most memorable for her.
In my head, the first thought was, this is the best memory I have in Ellen Fieldhouse. Whether you're playing for a championship or whatever it is, having, a home rivalry game this packed against a top 10 team, at a crucial moment in the season, I thought to myself, this is the best moment.
KU was led in scoring by freshman Samaya Nichols, who had a career high of 22 points, with super senior Tiana Jackson following behind with 11 points and 7 boards. Kansas is now 16-11 and will finish out the season with a road game against the UCF Knights on Wednesday and close out their season at home against Oklahoma on Saturday. That's all for sports, and we'll be right back with the weather.
Natural Ties, a club full of friendship, community, and fun, pairing individuals in the Lawrence community with disabilities to KU students, in efforts to foster meaningful connections that last a lifetime. We host events bi-weekly on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. Some of our favorite events include Trunk or Treat, the Back to School Cookout, and Neon Night. Follow us on Instagram today and come join us to see how special Natural Ties truly is to us.
Welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Emma here with your weekly weather forecast. Taking a look at some important headlines to take note of over this week. If you've been paying attention outside recently, we have been having those warmer temperatures that will continue at the start of this week and at the end of this week with some cooler temperatures in between. Along with this, we're also seeing some increasingly high wind speeds, especially going throughout the week. And this weekend into next week, we're also looking at a very good chance of cloudy skies and some rain. Looking at our current temperatures right now, we can see Lawrence, Topeka, and Kansas City are all relatively sitting at that 74-75 range. Leavenworth, up in Leavenworth, is 73, and Ottawa is up at 76. Taking a look at our current conditions, we're looking at a pretty comfortable 76 degrees, sunny skies, and some slight winds. Tonight's forecast, going into our hourly planner, we're obviously going to see a decrease in those temperatures and a decrease in those wind speeds, with some clouds coming later in the night. Tonight's forecast, we're looking at a low of 44 degrees with partly cloudy skies and some lowered wind speeds. Tomorrow's forecast, we're looking at another pretty warm day, a high of 79 degrees, but with a mix of some partly cloudy skies and some particularly strong afternoon winds ranging from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Taking a look at our weekly forecast, some things to take note of. This Wednesday, we can see obviously a major dip in temperature down to a high of 44 degrees from Tuesday's high of 79. Along with that, this weekend, we can see an increase of cloudy skies and some scattered storms, specifically on Sunday as we're getting back up into those higher temperatures, with a dip down to a high of 60 degrees on Monday. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure to tune in for Good Evening KU Sports at 3 p.m.